And then I got into like the guilt mindset of when I'm not working hard, I need to work. So I'd be like on my phone talking to friends. I'd be like, nah, I have to go and play League.
That's lazy. It's lazy is what it is. You know what? It's ironically lazy because it's easy to just do more. One thing I'm going to caution you with is right now you're playing a lot.
Oh yeah, of course.
And not just you're playing a lot of Overwatch, and when you're breaking, you're watching Overwatch, and then you're playing more. I would really encourage you to avoid the 11, 12-hour days.
Yeah, I think
because I just think it's gonna. There's a very important thing that they talk about in like lifting weights, bodybuilding, powerlifting, and overtraining, right? Rhabdo and all that kind of stuff.
Just as important as
well, not just the rest days, right? Because the goal is that you don't want to take a rest day, because rest day means that you're not training. But the problem is that if you go too hard for too long, you break the return on investment. Because every set that you do, you get value, but you get diminishing returns. The Pareto principle, right? The 80%, 20%. But then at a certain point, not only do you get diminishing returns, but you start to you start to approach burnout, which means the next day, the next week, whatever, is going to be worse and worse and worse in terms of quality of training.
Yeah, for sure.
So what I would do is at a certain point, you're going to get such minor return on investment for the amount of time that you're playing. I don't know if that's at the 6-hour, 7-hour mark. I don't know.
Yeah.
You really should do something completely different than Overwatch.
Yeah, okay.
And not only that, but make sure that preferably something not on the computer, if possible. At least for a couple hours, whether that's taking a walk, reading a book, playing a musical instrument, commit vehicular assault, like whatever you want to do, doesn't matter to me. Just get out of the house, or get out of the computer and do something else. Hang out with people, something, because it's just like I said, it's the return on investment. You're not going to be getting a lot more out of it, so you might as well do something more productive. And doing those more productive things are going to make you better at doing the thing the next day.
Yeah, it's something my my coach for my league team told me a lot this year. I need to because I had the huge problem in league where I just I don't know if you ever encountered a player, but I would have days where I would just play 24 hours straight.
Oh yeah.
And my coach would get really mad, and he'd be like, "You need to go outside." Like he paid for my gym membership even because he was like, "You need to stop playing."
Yeah.
Because I think when I first went pro, I had a really bad mindset of everyone else is working just as hard as I am, so I have to work harder. And then I got into the guilt mindset of when I'm not working hard, I need to work. So I'd be on my phone talking to friends. I'd be like, nah, I have to go and play League.
That's lazy. It's lazy is what it is. You know what? It's ironically lazy because it's easy to just do more.
Yeah, it's easy to just grind and never do anything else. Yeah, that's
right. It's easy to just do more.
Yeah, he told me scheduling is probably the most broken thing that any athlete or esport athlete can do.
Yeah.
Because scheduling means that you get the highest quality queue times because you're not queuing at there's a thing called win trade hours in OCE because majority of games are just trades. He said what's the point of playing a game then? Are you actually improving?
Right.
No. Okay, so then why don't you, instead of waking up at 4 p.m., right, you wake up at 8 or 9, do something for 3 hours, wake up, and then when queues start to become not win trade hours, then you can actually practice and you build a schedule on that.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many players that I've worked with in Overwatch League that got to the Overwatch League level by mindlessly grinding, but completely fumbled the bag season after season, game after game, that I have worked with or know of because they don't have the IRL skill set. They don't have the problem is that when you talk about athletes, right? Athletes were all grind. All of them have to grind at least to some extent, right? Even the gifted ones have to grind at least a little bit. But the difference between a physical athlete and an esports athlete is a physical athlete has a physical limitation before they literally can't do more. It hurts, right? Esport athlete, that's just not there as much to an extent. You can always grind more. You'll feel it, but you don't have those 7 limitations. So what I've noticed is there's a lot more professional esport athletes than there are professional athletes that don't know when to stop. And so they get into like these professional sports, these professional games, and they don't have the competitive mindset. They don't know how to take care of themselves. They're total degens. All they do is play all game, all day. They choke in matches. They're toxic. They don't know how to communicate. They've never self-VOD reviewed with any sort of quality. They don't know how to give 100% effort for a couple of games because they're still hungover from the last 3 days or playing 72 hours or whatever. And like, these players crash and burn. Like I've known so many players that on paper should be better mechanically, but they just don't have it, and that's what they don't have. That's what they don't have. One of the examples I always give is the Hadi example in London 2 years ago, who became a better player in officials and matches through playing less. Made fewer mistakes, made fewer mental errors, was a lot more by lifting weights and spending less time in the video game.
Exact same thing happened to me this season. My coach said you can only play like this much a day, and I promise like you'll feel shit, but I'll bench you if you play any more.
Right.
I went into scrims, and then we went from like, you know, being kind of like bad to we were like really like hitting up, and it was probably me because I think playing less is actually a really broken hack for sure.
Yeah. I think it depends on the person, because it's hard to tell somebody you should play less when that's what they got them there. But what the difference between what got you there and what's going to make you better is it's different, right? Playing more is the answer most of the time, but not all the time. There's always a balance.